and welcome to this Let's Build an Orcs Army with me, Mark, from the Xenovids channel. So I've got my Orc Codex here. Sorry I haven't released one in a good couple of weeks. Me and Ian have been to Warhammer World, we've done a few battle reports, and I'm currently in the process of painting a lot of models. Age of Sigmar came out, and although I'm not hugely pulled by the new starter box, I do have a load of high elves I didn't actually paint up, and I've got a whole box of stuff: sword masters, phoenix guards, spearmen. I had the Islander box set, you see, so I've got the prints on a griffin now, and I'll probably just keep it to trying to get 50 wounds as such, with one monster, which would be the griffin. I've got a lore master, a mage, and then my other high elves. And then I paint them up and then battle in a couple of times and see how that goes. But that's a lot of high elves I have to do. Orcs wise, which is what this video is predominantly about, I have a good few bikes to do again. I have a converted war truck. Ian's done this one for me. It was a Tauros. It's got a load of bombs and missiles on it, and it's going to be for my tank busters guys. At Warhammer World, I bought the Forge World Orc War Boss as well. He's in my Orc box right now, all painted up. Once I get these last, I've also got some looters. Once I get the 5 looters, those war bikes, and the truck done, I'm going to do a showcase video showing you my colour scheme and just the way I paint them and what I've got so far. So this video is all about the Fast Attack section. So grabbing my codex, what this video is going to be about is me talking about the Fast Attack section and my thoughts and my opinions and tactics. So the first entry is the truck. Now I won't go into too much detail, but it's 30 points. The truck, if you've got a load of extra points, can be a really great way of board control. If you were playing Unbound, you can have an unlimited amount of trucks if you wanted to, essentially. If you were doing a bound army, which not a lot of people really do nowadays with the fact that we've got formations and allies and everything, everyone wants to kind of do their own thing. But the truck is 30 points. If you had 5 of those, that'd be 150 points. There's usually, if you're playing a Maelstrom or that many objectives, you can grab these objectives and win points in these objective games. And then that's only 150 points. So then you will have, if it's a 2,000 point game, you'll have 1850 points left. If it's a 1850 point game, you have 1700 points left to put into lots of other things. And because the Orc Codex, a lot of things are cheap, you'll have a lot of things you can buy in points wise. But the truck, usually seen with Ork boys. Stormboyz, 45 points gets you 5 Stormboyz. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership 7 and a 6-up save. They have a slugger, chopper, stick bombs, a rocket pack. Here we go, furious charge and mob rule. You may include up to 25 additional Stormboyz at 9 points a model. One model may be upgraded to a boss knob at 10 points, and you can have various melee weapons, and the boss knob may take a boss pole for 5 points. The rocket pack is on page 98. I will skip to that because I want to talk a little bit about exactly what it does, and that is their jetpack that they have on the back of them. The models equipped with this gain the jump unit type rule. A unit made up exclusively of models with rocket packs can choose to use them to run 2d6 in the shooting phase instead of a normal d6, even if it used it in the movement phase. If it does so, every model must take a dangerous terrain test, which isn't too bad because you'll usually have a large swarm of them. So highly mobile orcs, essentially. So the orc equivalent of assault marines. I like the models, I like the look of them, and I like the fact that you can move them about. They're so maneuverable, they can assault very easily. So you can get 30 in a mob. I'm looking to between 15 to 25. just so that I can have this unit, this fast unit of orcs going up the field, following my bikes and stuff, because you want to, the fact that orcs, you have so many units, you've got board control abilities to grab objectives, and you're making your opponent shoot and choose what to shoot. Let's take Ian's Astra Militarum army. Loads of tanks. It's all tanks, basically. 3 chimeras with veterans, a unit of Bulgrins, and then it's just Leman Russ, Leman Russ, Leman Russ, Leman Russ of various different kinds. We'll say he has 8 Leman Russes, that's 8 shots. So there's going to be cover saves happening there, but you're going to have more than 8 units on the board. So he has to concentrate fire on the big things. So a large group of Ork knobs, or on bikes, or a Gorkamorka, or any kind of trucks. So you have to focus on them. If he doesn't kill them with 1 unit, he's got another unit to shoot, and then another unit to shoot. Whilst he's doing that, your Stormboyz are jumping up the field, grabbing an objective, or doing what they do best and slaughtering things in close combat. So Stormboyz are used for maneuverability to claim those objectives, or to get in your opponent's face straight away, distract them, or do as much damage as they can. Deffkopters. I do like Deffkopters. 30 points gets you 1. They are weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, but toughness is 5. 2 wounds, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 4 up save. Twin linked big shooter and a chopper, so better shots wise really. Here we go, special rule, furious charge, hit and run, mob rule and scout. Scout move, you get an extra move, that's brilliant, more maneuverability. It's classed as a jet bike, so it will have a jinx save if you like, and it can move the 12 inches turbo boost as well. You can include up to 4 more to make the unit a 5 Deffkopter unit, and it's 30 points each for extra ones. They can replace their twin link shooters with twin link rocket launchers or custom mega blaster for free. I've seen them where you've got 5 twin link rockets, so then you've got a mobile unit which can just keep firing rockets, and even though they've got a ballistic skill of 2, so you're hitting on 5s, being twin linked does kind of statistically make it a ballistic skill of 3, so you're going to hit usually 50% of the time. So if you have 5, let's round it up to 3 hits, that's 3 rocket shots for 150 points in total. I've seen people use them effectively by coming around the side of armoured vehicles, usually Imperial vehicles, where their side armour isn't as good as their front armour. Any Deffkopter may be equipped with a big bomb or buzzsaw, 15 points to 25 points. Again, most of the time I see them as keep them cheap and cheerful and just have them claim an objective, or keep them cheap and cheerful, put rocket launchers on them for free, and try and aim for the odd 1 or 2 vehicles, like a Rhino or something, so then get around it, aim for the side that has the least armour value, and just try and go to town on it, and let your Ork boys and stuff like that just run up and attack and kill what was inside. So Deffkopters, 4 up save as well is not bad, 4 up cover save when they jink, but give them rocket launchers, aim for those tanks. Jet, 110 points, the first of the flyer variants. These were one of the first flyers I think that came out. You had these, you had the Space Marine Talons, just before the Necron ones came out. So Jet is ballistic skill 2, front, side and rear armour is 10, and hull points is 3. It has 2 twin linked super shooters, strafing run supersonic warg plane. The warg plane rule basically means during the turn in which you go warg, each of the model's assault weapons fires 1 more shot than normal, which is good. You may take a red paint job, may take an additional twin link super shooter for 20 points, probably a yes, and may take a fly boss for 15 points a model. 110 points, in the grand scheme of things, isn't too expensive for a flyer, but what you're getting is only ballistic skill 2. So if you like the idea of a fun Ork Air Force, and let's say your opponent sees a few of these jets, they're going to have to deal with them straight away. They are armour value of 10 though, so your opponent will think, right, my bolter can hurt them. But again, if he's firing at a Dakka jet, he's not firing at your 3 or 4 units that are extremely killy. Which is the way I'm going to go with my orcs and the tactics I'm going to use. I'm having a large blob of orc Stormboyz on bikes with a pain boy and a war boss. I'm going to have a unit of normal bikes to provide covering fire. The Stormboyz are going to be the distraction. My looters at the back are going to fire at the armour value of things. An Ork Boys unit to help the back table in case I'm against drop pods or deep striking units, and also able to take objectives on my side of the field. And then I have the fun units like the burner boys, the tank busters, which are expendable, but whilst my opponent is killing them, my good units are going in. I see a Dakka jet as 110 points of expendable fun. The burner bomber is 115 points, and basically you get your twin linked big shooter, same stats as the previous one, but you get a twin linked super shooter and 2 burner bombs. It's supersonic, it's a wag plane, you can take up to 6 scorcher missiles at 10 points each, red paint job 5 points, it has a grot gunner. When a model with this special rule fires the big shooter or twin link big shooter, the shot's resolved at ballistic skill 3. So for 5 points more you get a more reliable plane at shooting, but it's 115 points. The Blitzer Bomber is 135 points. Now this one, same stats as before, but it has a big shooter, a twin link super shooter and 2 boom bombs. It has a grot gunner and supersonic wag plane. This one, 135 points, is more reliable at shooting, and you have 2 bombs for infantry. So if you're going against those other orc armies, those Tyranid armies, those large blobs of Imperial Guards, Chaos Cultists or Demons, a Blitzer Bomber is something you would consider. A Burner Bomber is the middle child that's more reliable, and just for cheap fun you would go for the Dakka jet. Then we go on to the Warbikers. I'm going to have a unit of 10 of these. 54 points gets you 3 of them. They are weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, toughness 5, 1 wound, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 4 up save. Slugger, chopper and warbike. Here we go, furious charge and mob rule. You may take up to 12 warbikes at 18 points a model. You can have a boss knob at 10 points. The boss knob may take items from the melee list. The boss knob may take a boss blow at 5 points. Warbikers, for me, again, are going to be the unit covering my knob bikers. They're also going to be a unit, they're orcs, they're on bikes, they're moving 12 inches. If they charge you, they have 3 attacks on the charge. These orcs are toughness 5 because they're on a bike, so they're more resilient. So they're just all around a great option, I feel. And it gives you, again, if you have those objectives you need to get, you do that. If you have a unit you want to kill, you throw them into there. They give you that versatility and maneuverability, with the maneuverability, the resilience, and with a slugger and the warbike, which I think comes with something. It comes with a twin linked. No, I fitted with a twin link Dakka gun, and when it turbo boosts, the cover save is 1+ higher than it normally is. So they have a turbo boosting, and if you jinked, you get a 3-up cover save. So I like warbikes. The last one in this section is the war buggies. The fast attack section has not so many if you count. They've got 3 flyers, which is good, but war buggies are 25 points. When this codex came out and the dust settled and people who were underwhelmed, I understand they were underwhelmed by it, the war buggies I heard were the ones that people would take. 25 points. War buggy, a scorcher and a war track. The war buggies, ballistic skill, they're all the same stats. Ballistic skill 2, front side rear armour of 10, hull points 2. Fast, open top vehicle. The Warbuggy has a twin-linked big shooter. The Scorcher has a Scorcher. The Wartruck has a twin-linked big shooter. They have outflank. Scorcher and Wartruck they can re-roll failed dangerous terrain tests. You can include up to 4 additional Warbuggies at 25 points. You may upgrade to a Wartruck for 5 points, or a Warbuggy may upgrade to a Scorcher for 10 points. Any Warbuggy or Wartruck may replace its twin-linked big shooter with a twin-linked rocket launcher for free. Any model may take any of the following: a red paint job, extra armor, or grot riggers. So let's take a look at this. When you look through the fast attack, you've got the Warbikers. Is probably a definite yes for me. The bombers are maybe. Deffkopters are pretty cool. Stormboyz are pretty cool. But the Warbuggies, they're 25 points. The model itself isn't the most amazing model, but with Orks you can customise whatever you want. So say you have a full squad of 5 of them, 125 points. And this is the Warbuggy, which is a twin-linked big shooter. Now, a twin-linked big shooter, 36-inch, strength 5, AP 5, assault 3. So that's, if you have 5 of them, that's 15 shots. Yes, it's ballistic skill 2, but 15 shot, strength 5 weapon. They've got outflank. So if you're playing a Space Wolf player with long fangs at the back, if you're playing an Astra Militarum player with those tanks at the back, if you're playing basically anything with your opponent that has things at the back, or they have an objective at the back, you should consider these guys. You've got outflank. Yes, it's randomly determined which side you come on, but they're a fast vehicle when they do come on. Now, if you upgrade them to a Wartruck or a Scorcher, you get extra options, but a Warbuggy can replace its twin-linked big shooter for free for rocket launchers. So like I said earlier, with the Deffkopters, which were 30 points a model, you save yourself 5 points by getting Warbuggies. And then you get 5 twin-linked rocket launcher shots. And the rocket launcher strength is 8 and it's AP 3. It is only assault 1, but it's twin-linked. 5 twin-linked strength 8 weapons, probably going to hit 3 out of the time, 3 out of 5-ish. But then you've got the strength 8 weapon. Again, strength 8 AP 3. If your opponent has long fangs at the back, if your opponent has devastators at the back, if your opponent has a predator at the back, the side armor and in fact the rear armor is not going to do well against strength 8. Being AP 3 is not going to help you against vehicles, but if you are stunning a vehicle or shaking it or taking a whole point off of it and taking off its weapon or any of the weapons, you're hurting that vehicle. It becomes useless for a turn whilst all your models move up towards your opponent. For a mere 125 points, Warbuggies are definitely something that should be considered. And as I'm talking to you right now, I am thinking, wait a second, Warbuggies, these seem pretty cool. 125 points. That's not a lot in 1850. It's not a lot in 2,000 points at least at all. It's not even a lot in a 1250 point. For a unit that outflanks, it's a vehicle. They'll have rocket launchers or a big shooter. How many people out there play Space Marines? How many people out there play Space Marines or Space Wolves that use Devastators or Long Fangs? I use Long Fangs. I've got 2 squads. Ian has 2 squads of Devastators when he plays his Space Marines. Those Eldar artilleries at the back as well. I have a Predator in my Space Wolves army that I keep at the back. If you're finding it hard to get up there because you're being bombarded by all these shots, try a couple of squads of Warbuggies, either with big shooters or rocket launchers. You need to think a little bit about synergy with the Ork Codex, because it isn't one of the most powerful ones. You have to kind of utilise all the things you have. Now, war buggies are cheap, they outflank, they've got shots. Even the fact that, again, objective-based game, you get on your opponent's side of the field, you can take objectives. You can shoot a little bit, but your opponent will now have Ork vehicle on their side of the field. Turn 2 potentially. They've got to deal with that. But then it means they're not dealing with your knobs, or your mega knobs, or your flyers, which could also be coming on turn 2. And you make your opponent panic, and then they make mistakes. And then they don't shoot that unit of Ork boys that overwhelm the Space Marine lines. The fast attack section is quite good for expendable units that can distract your opponent. So overall, I feel that the fast attack section is a fun section, but they are going to be expendable units. I personally like the look of Stormboyz. Now they're only 9 points a model in total. I'm going to have a unit of about 15 to 20 of them. I like the models, I'm going to take them. With this Ork army, I'm going to take things that are fun. The Deffkopters, they're good, but like I said, I think Warbikers are better than Deffkopters, although I prefer the Deffkopter design more. The Jets are fun, but for their points, they're a bit almost too expensive, I think. They're the only thing I think that are too expensive. And they should have been around the 100. They should have a 5% decrease in points. Warbikers, they're a staple. You know what Warbikers do. They're good. Your opponent knows what they can do though. So when you look at things like the Deffkopter, the war buggies, use them in a combination of tactics of little rocket shots, 1 or 2 hits against the armour, stun that vehicle, have the rest of your unit coming up. That is something to consider when 7th edition is all about shooting and vehicles are top dog in this edition. You need something to do it. And if you're just relying on orcs with power claws, you might find yourself at a disadvantage. So that is my thoughts on the fast attack section. The next section will be the heavy supports, which as I'm going through, there's about 10 units in there. There's 2 Lords of War in the Codex and formation. As I'm reading through this, I am enjoying the orcs. I'm enjoying painting the orcs as well. Being a Tyranid player, being a high elf painter, I have had little tiny models to do. I've had the big monsters, but little tiny models to do. But having orcs that are quite cool in looking and stuff, I enjoy painting them. And I'm going to enjoy playing them. When I went to Warhammer World, I spoke to a guy there that started playing orcs in this edition. And I said, are you having fun with them? And his answer was yes. I played 2 games. I lost horrendously, but then I won one of them. I'm having loads of fun. It's an army where you can chill out, relax. You don't have to worry about what you're doing. Just go up and have fun. You're probably going to lose, so just enjoy it. So my fast attack section, I'm going to have war bikes, I'm going to have Stormboyz, but give the war buggies a go. And if you use war buggies, please comment below how effective the rocket launcher outflanking kind of tactic is. I've been Marc from the Xenovids channel. Thank you very much for watching and the whole series and following my journey with the orcs. Please comment, share, like and subscribe, and I will see you on our next video. Goodbye.